Hello students, in this video we are going to study the remaining part of the chapter number 11. The chapter name is Transportation in Animals and Plants. Class 7, Subject Science NCERT. In this video we are going to study the remaining part of this chapter. So let me recall what we had seen in the previous video of this chapter. So in the previous video we had seen that all the organisms require food, then water and oxygen for their survival. And this substance, that means food, water and oxygen, should be transport or should be applied to all the various parts of the body. So there should be any system, or we can say there should be any medium by which this substance can transport to the rest of the body parts. So in that we had seen that one circulatory system is there in our body, or we can say in animals, by which this all the substance, that is food, water and oxygen, can be transported to the various body parts. So in that circulatory system it involves heart, veins and arteries. So these all functions together to transport the various substance to the rest of the body parts. In the circulatory system, first we had seen about blood. What is blood? That we had also seen that blood is the fluid and which flows in the blood vessels, and it composed of fluid that is known as the plasma, and in that different types of cells are suspended, or we can say they are floating. Like what kind of cells are there? So the red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets are there. These are the three different types of the cells, or we can say blood cells. So in that first we had seen red blood cells, and what is the functions, or we can say importance of the red blood cell. So in that we had seen that this red blood cells contains the red pigment which is known as the hemoglobin. So now what is the function of hemoglobin? So that we had also seen that hemoglobin binds, or we can say combine with the oxygen, and it transports this oxygen to all the body parts, and at the end to the cells, we can say basic or structural or functional unit of our body, that is to cells. So this hemoglobin transport the oxygen to the all of the body parts. So that is the function of red blood cells. And because of this red pigment of hemoglobin, the blood looks like a red color. Then after we had seen what is the importance of white blood cells. So in that we had seen that this kind of cells fight against the germs that are entering to our body. So this is the function of white blood cells. It protects us from the germs which are entering in our body. The third type of blood cell which we had seen, that was platelets, and we had also seen the function of these platelets, that it helps in clotting of the blood. That means if we are getting any cut during the injury on our body parts, then after some time you will find the brown or dark red color clothing or layer which plug or which covers the cut. So that is because of the platelets. It helps in clotting, and because of that the blood flow which is coming out from the body, it will stop. So this is the function of platelets. So this all we had seen about the blood. Then after we had seen the vessels in which this blood is flowing, that means blood vessels. How many different types of blood vessels are there? That we had seen. So in that first we had seen about arteries. So in that we had seen that the blood vessels which carry blood from heart to the rest of the body parts, it is known as the arteries. And generally these arteries carries the blood which is rich in oxygen. Then after we had seen that what is the importance of the, or what is the structure of the artery. So in that we had seen that the blood flow in these arteries is very fast and at the high pressure. So the walls of the arteries is thick elastic walls. It has the thick elastic walls. Then after we had seen also about pulse. What is pulse? So if you will notice the artery, or if you will put the finger on your arteries, like on the wrist, you will put, if you will put the fingers, then you will find the some throbbing movement. So that is the pulse, and because the blood is flowing through the artery, we can find this movement. So that is known as the pulse, and the number of times this pulse can be observed in 1 minute is known as the pulse rate, your pulse rate. So that we had also seen through one activity. Then after we had seen about the another blood vessel which is known as the veins. So in that we had seen that the blood vessels which carry blood from rest of the body parts to the heart is known as the veins. The rest of the body parts to the heart is known as the veins, and this veins carries the blood which is rich in the carbon dioxide. The veins carries the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. So this is the function of arteries and veins. And then after we had seen about capillaries. So we had seen that after reaching the tissues, the capillaries or arteries are further divided into the thin tubes, or we can say small tubes or small pipe like structure. So those structure or those thin tubes are known as the capillaries, and at the end this capillaries supplies the oxygen rich blood, or we can say oxygen, to the different cells of our body. And again, to consume or to carry the carbon dioxide rich bloods, this capillary carries the carbon dioxide rich bloods and it joins, or we can say it combines, to form the vein. So this capillary, this is the function of these capillaries. Then after we had also seen about pulmonary vein and pulmonary artery, and how the blood is circulating in our body through hearts to the lungs and through hearts to the various parts of our body. In that we had seen about pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. So what is the artery? That we had seen that the blood vessel which carries the blood from heart to the rest of the body part, that is known as the artery. So same like that, pulmonary artery also carries the blood from heart to the other part of the body, that is in this case it is the lungs. So that's why it is known as the artery. But at this time it is carrying the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. So that's why it is different from the rest of the artery. So it is known as the pulmonary artery. It carries the carbon dioxide rich blood from heart to the lungs. Same like that, the pulmonary veins are also, pulmonary vein is also there in our body, which carries the blood which is rich in oxygen. Generally the veins are carrying the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, but this pulmonary vein carries the blood from lungs, that means the rest of the body parts, to the heart. So that's why it is known as the vein, and as it carries the blood which is rich in oxygen, so that's why it is known as the pulmonary vein. So these are the things we had seen in the last video. Now in this video we will continue with the other part of our circulatory system, that is heart. The most important part of our circulatory system, that is heart. So now let me first see what is the function of heart and what is the location of heart in our body. So the heart is an organ which beats continuously to act as a pump for the transport of blood which carries the other substance with it. So heart is like a pump and it continuously acting like a pump, or we can say it pumps the blood in the rest of the body parts, and it with the blood it carries the different kinds of substance like oxygen, then after digested food, then waste material which is produced from our body parts or from the functions or life processes within our body. So it carries this kind of substance with blood. Now imagine a pump working for the years without stopping. It seems impossible to imagine such kind of a pump which is working without stopping for long years. But our heart is such kind of pump which is working without stopping so many years, or we can say without stopping a lifetime. So now let we know more about the heart. So heart is located, first here the location of the heart is given to you, that heart is located in the chest cavity with its lower tip slightly tilted towards the left. This is the location of your heart, that it is located in the chest cavity. Cavity, that means space in the chest, the space is there. In that space or cavity, the heart is located, and its lower tip, or we can say its lower corner, is slightly tilted. That means it's slightly bent towards the left side. So that's why we are saying that our heart is on the left side, because its lower end is slightly tilted towards the left side. And if you want to know what is the size of the heart, then hold your fingers toward inwards on your palm, and that makes your fist. That means you have to make your fist, and your heart is roughly, or you can say approximately, the size of your fist. The size of your fist is the approximately size of your heart. So that is the size of your heart. So now what will happen if the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide and the blood which is rich in oxygen will mix with each other? So it will may cause even death to any person if these both bloods mix with each other, that is blood which is rich in oxygen and blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, and it may cause serious problems in our body. So to avoid this from happening, the heart has the 4 chambers. The heart has the 4 chambers, and these chambers are divided into 2 parts. That means 2 upper chambers are known as the atria. So this is the plural form. 2 chambers are that there is there. So it is known as the atria, and its singular name is atrium. So there are 2 atriums total, that is left atrium and right atrium. And the 2 lower chambers are known as the ventricles, that is left ventricles and right ventricles. And there is the partition, or we can say even wall like structure is there between these chambers to avoid the mixing of the blood which is rich in oxygen and the blood which is rich in the carbon dioxide. Here the figure, or we can say label diagram of the heart is shown to you. These 2 upper chambers are known as the atrium, that is right atrium and left atrium. The 2 lower chambers are known as the ventricles, that is right ventricle and left ventricle. And here the partition is shown to you, which divides the 2 total different parts, and this part carries the blood which is rich in oxygen, and this part carries the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. So it is colored with the blue color. So these partitions avoid the mixing up of blood which is rich in oxygen and which is rich in carbon dioxide. So now let me understand what is the functioning of the circulatory system. So for that we have to see the previous figure, that is this one, 11.3. Figure 11.3, and we have to follow this arrow, and this arrow shows the direction of the blood flow, blood which is flowing from the heart to the lungs and again back to the hearts, from where it is pumped again to the rest of the body parts. So now let me see the first from the heart. Blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, it will flow through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Here the pulmonary artery, we already know the function of this. It will carry the blood from heart to the lungs, and it will carry the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. So now from the lungs, at lungs, the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, it is there. So now from the lungs, the carbon dioxide is removed, and the again oxygen is combined with the blood, and that oxygen rich blood will reach to the heart from lungs to heart through this pulmonary vein. This pulmonary vein flows the blood from lungs to heart, and it carries the blood which is rich in oxygen. So now from the heart, through this artery, the blood will reach to the rest of the body parts, and you can say to the tissues of our body, and from that tissues the capillaries are there, and then after it will reach to the rest of the cells of our body. So now in these cells, we know that already the breakdown process of the food is occur, and in that process the energy is released, and with that energy the carbon dioxide is also released. So the carbon dioxide is the waste product, so which is now again mixed with the blood, and that will flow through this vein to the heart, and it will reach to the heart. So vein will carries the blood from the rest of the body parts to the heart, which is rich in carbon dioxide. So now again the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide will flow from heart to the lungs through this pulmonary artery, and again in the lungs this carbon dioxide rich blood, from this kind of blood the carbon dioxide is removed, and again the oxygen will combine with this blood, and that oxygen rich blood will flow through this pulmonary vein from lungs to the heart. So this cycle will continuously goes on till the end of our life. So this is the circulatory system in our body, in which involves the lungs, heart, then after veins, capillaries and arteries. So now let we see how the circulatory system is work in the heart, or how the blood is circulating in the heart. So here we already know that the four chambers are there. Other than these four chambers, here you can see the vena cava is there. This is the main vein in our body. Then after aorta is there. This is the main or major artery is there in our body. Then after this one is the pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, left atrium, right atrium. Below that the right ventricle and left ventricle is there, and partition is there which is dividing the left part of the heart and right part of the heart, to avoid the mixing up of the blood which is rich in oxygen and in carbon dioxide. So now let we see the how blood is flowing. So in the previous figure we had already seen that from the heart, the through the pulmonary artery, the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, it will goes to lungs, and in the heart the blood which is rich in oxygen, it will come from the lungs through the pulmonary veins. So through these pulmonary veins the blood will reach, or it will reach to the heart, or we can say in the left atrium. So once this left atrium will fully fill with the blood, it will start contracting, and at the same time this left ventricle will expand. So the blood will emptify into this left ventricle, and once this left ventricle will fully fill with the blood which is rich in oxygen, then after it will went for the rest of the body parts through the main artery, that is aorta. Through here, from here it will reach to the rest of the body parts through this aorta. So after reaching the all the body parts, the blood which is collected by the different veins in our body, so at the end the main vein, that is vena cava, it will bring the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, and it will empty the blood into the right atrium. So once this right atrium fully filled with the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, it will start contracting, and at the same time this right ventricle will expand, so the blood will emptify into this right ventricle. And once this right ventricle will fully fill with the blood, so then after it will emptify to the lungs, or the blood will reach to the lungs from the heart through this pulmonary artery. So from here it will go for the lungs through the pulmonary artery, and again from the lungs through this pulmonary vein the blood will reach to the left atrium. So this is how the blood is circulating in our heart, or how our circulatory system is working. So now next let we see about the heartbeat. So the walls of the chambers of the heart are made up of the muscles. So now from what this heart is made up of, so the walls of this chamber, four chambers of our heart is made up of muscles, and these muscles will contract and relax rhythmically. That means they are systematically contracting and relaxing. As we had seen that once the atrium will contract, at the same time the ventricle will expand. So the contraction and relaxation is there between the atrium and ventricle, and this rhythmic contraction followed by its relaxation constitutes a heartbeat. That means one relaxation and one contraction, it will form the one heartbeat. And remember that heartbeats continues every moment of our life. As we had already seen, the heart will pump the blood throughout the life. So if you place your hand on the left side of your chest, you can feel your heartbeat. and doctor also feels this heartbeat with the help of an instrument which is known as the stethoscope. So the number of times the heart beats in a minute is known as the our heartbeat rate. So to measure this heartbeat or to observe this heartbeat, the doctors are using an instrument which is known as the stethoscope. So the doctor uses this stethoscope as the device to amplify, or we can say to increase the sound, the frequency of the sound of the heart, by which they can clearly listen the sound of the heart. And it consists of a chest piece that carries the sensitive diaphragm. Diaphragm, that means a kind of curtain, and two earpieces and a tube which is joining these two different parts. So from this instrument, doctors can get idea or clues about the condition of your heart by listening through the stethoscope. Here the picture of stethoscope is shown to you. This is the chest piece which consists of a diaphragm. That means this round is known, a round curtain like structure is known as the diaphragm, and which is used to amplify or which is used to increase the sound of the heartbeats. Then after these two are the earpiece which can be wear in the ears, and this is the tube which joins the earpiece and chest piece of the stethoscope. Here one activity is given to you. In this activity, after this activity you can make your own stethoscope. So now let us construct a model of a stethoscope with the material that are available around us. With that material also you can make this stethoscope. Here for that activity 11.2 is given to you. For that, take this small funnel approximately of diameter 6 to 7 centimeter, and then after fix the rubber tube around 50 centimeter long and tightly on the stem of the funnel. You have to fix that rubber tube on the stem of the funnel. Here in the picture it is shown to you like this. You have to fix this rubber tube on the stem of the funnel, and then after stretch a rubber sheet, or you can here also use the balloon, this orange one, that is the rubber sheet, and you can also use the balloon, and then after you have to fix that on the mouth of the funnel, and you can fix it tightly with the help of the rubber band, and then put the open end of this tube on the one of your ear, and then put the mouth of this funnel on your chest near the heart. Here like this boy is doing, you can try to listen your heartbeat like this. First open end you have to put in your ear, and then after you have to put this funnel near your heart on your chest. So after performing this activity, you have to answer some of this question, that do you hear a regular thumping sound or the sound like something is beating? The sound is a heartbeat. So that sound is known as the heartbeats, that is the sound of the heart is beating. How many times did your heart beats in a minute? That you have to count, and again you have to count after running for 4 to 5 minutes, and then you have to compare your observation. And you can also record your own pulse rate. How to record the pulse rate, that we had already seen. So you have to record your pulse rate, heartbeat, and that of your friends also while resting and after running, and then that you have to record in the 11.2 table. So now let we see one example of this heartbeat and pulse rate and the relation between these two. So here some examples are given to you. The name of the student is A. While resting, his heartbeat is 74 and pulse rate is also 74. After running for 4 to 5 minutes, the heartbeat is 80 and the pulse rate is also 80. For the another student, while resting, the heartbeat and pulse rate are 72. And after running, it will be 82. It will be increased to 82. For student C, the heartbeat and pulse rate while resting, it is 75. And after running for 4 to 5 minutes or after having the exercise, it will increase to 80. Then after for D student, the heartbeat and pulse rate at rest, it is 74. After having the exercise, it will be 79. For student E, at resting, it is both of them are 77, and after running it will be 82. So from this table we can say that after having the exercise or after running, the heartbeat and pulse rate are increases, and at the race it is as compared to low. And we can say that the heartbeat and pulse rate are the same of any person. And also we can say that there is the while resting also, the pulse rate and heartbeat for this different student, it is the different. That means the heartbeat and pulse rate, it will be vary as person to person. For some of them has the 74, then after someone else has the 72, someone else has 77. So that means it is varying from person to person. So this we can conclude from this activity. So from this we can also say that each heartbeat generates one pulse in the arteries, and the pulse rate per minute indicates the rate of heartbeat. So this is the heartbeat, and about the pulse rate. The rhythmic beating of the various chambers of the heart maintains the circulation of blood and transport of the different substance to the different parts of the body. That we had seen that how the blood is circulating to the different parts of the body with the help of the rhythmic beating of the various chamber of the heart. Now Bujaho wonders if sponges and hydra, that means they are the microorganisms, they also have the bloods. So animals such as sponges and hydra do not possess any circulatory system. That means they do not have any such kind of circulatory systems. The water in which they are living, they bring the food and oxygen as they enters to their body. In these organisms, the water comes into their body, so that water brings the food and oxygen for them, and then after the water carries away waste material also and carbon dioxide as this water moves out. As this water is moving out of their body, with that also they are carrying the waste materials and carbon dioxide. So thus animals do not need a circulatory system or circulatory fluid like the blood. So the animals like hydra and sponges, they do not have any circulatory system and circulatory fluid like the blood. So this is about the circulatory system. Next is excretion in animals. So now let us now learn about the removal of waste other than carbon dioxide. In this circulatory system, we had seen that the one waste product is also generated in our body, that is carbon dioxide. So how to remove that carbon dioxide, that we had seen in the circulatory system. So other than carbon dioxide, some undigested food is also there, and while performing the various functions in our body, some other waste materials are also produced. So how to remove those waste materials from our body? So for that the excretion system or excretory system is there in our body. So how this system is working and what are the different organs or parts are there which are important in this excretory system, that we will learn in the next video. Before ending this video, let me see one fact about this circulatory system in our body, that the English physicians, that is William Harvey, which was there in AD 1578 to 1657, he discovered the circulation of blood, how the blood is circulating in our body. The current opinion in those days was that blood is oscillating or blood oscillates in the vessels of the body. That means the blood is moving in the blood vessels like this. This is known as the oscillation. So on those days or during those days, people were believing that the blood is moving like this in the blood vessels, and for his views, the Harvey was ridiculed and was called circulator. People was making the fun of these physicians, that is Harvey, and they gave the name him as the circulator. They were not believing in him, so he lost while during these experiments and all. He lost most of his patients, and however, before he died, the Harvey's idea about the circulation of this blood was generally accepted by the as the biological fact. Before his death, people accepted his idea about the circulation of blood, which he has discovered, that how blood was circulating in our body, or how blood is circulating in our body. So this is about the circulatory system. In the next video, we are going to study about the excretory system in the human, or in the human body. So now we end our video. In the next video, we'll study about the excretory system. Thank you.